Hey guys, Regards here with another replay commentary on Heroes of the Storm. This game is a Rehgar game, actually the first ever game I played with Rehgar. I saw how strong he was on my previous team, and I saw that he was free to play, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to play him. I also see that he's pretty high up on people's tier lists. He is a fantastic support. Taking a look at his abilities, he has ability to dish out a ton of healing while also supporting the other team. Now, the only problem with this game, and it's one of the reasons I really wanted to go over the replay of it, is that we had Lily on our team, and Rehgar, myself. We had a Lost Vikings, a Nova, and an Asmodon. I did not like this team comp at all. I didn't feel very strong about it. I don't necessarily know specifically what the Lost Vikings do. I really should look it up because they're played kind of often. So I didn't know who to lay my W on. That's the little lightning shield that does extra damage. I didn't necessarily know who to put it on. I put it on the Lost Vikings a lot. It seemed to work, so I'm not going to really question it. But I wasn't really super stoked on this team comp. I liked the other team's team comp a lot better. They seem to have some beefiness along with some healing. But anyways, let's go ahead and play this one and see how it ends up going. I'm going to be on the red side here. And I think I'm going to go up top. And one of the first things I noticed right off the bat that I wasn't a huge fan of is nobody came up top with me. Experience such a big part of this game. And don't get me wrong, I was really tough to kill up top, but I don't think Rehgar is, well, there's a reason they're called support champions, right? Because they're supposed to support somebody. You're supposed to have somebody over here, and you're supposed to support them, and if you go in a solo lane, how are you accomplishing that? I don't feel like you are. So, anyways, I go up into the top lane. I'm going to kind of scour it a little bit up here. This is actually really funny that we missed each other, because I was wondering where they were, and I missed them this whole time. I'm going to be going against Tyrael and Rehgar up in the top lane as well, and as we'll see, they pester the heck out of me, drive me absolutely insane. Down bottom, we see some people just kind of roaming around here. It looks like we have a 2-1, a three-person lane with the Lost Vikings as well. I don't know. I don't feel like our team, our lanes were really optimal. I was really trying to get the hang of Rehgar. I had practiced him once. I don't know. So at this point, really, all I'm trying to do is make sure our towers don't get too much damage put down on them. And I'm trying to do a lot of damage onto them while also healing myself. And I actually ended up doing that. His W ends up doing a lot of damage. I'm surprised at how much damage it actually ends up doing. And if you can put it on yourself and do some damage, that's why I don't necessarily think he's awful for a solo lane. I think if it's just him against just somebody else, he's going to fare pretty strongly. But against two people, I don't know. I had a really tough time shoving this lane out against them to get experience points. I felt like they were getting experience a little bit faster than I was. But while I'm watching it right now, it looks like actually I'm keeping up with them pretty strongly. Where my big problem comes in, and you're going to see this, is when the tributes pop up. I didn't react necessarily too fantastic to them. For my skill, for my very first one, I went with Empowering Charge. Lightning Shield did more damage, and the reason I did that is because we already had a Lily. I don't know which one it is, Lily or Lily. She has healing as well, and I didn't want there to be too much healing and no damage, so I thought it wouldn't be a bad idea to necessarily pick up some extra damage. I don't know if that's the optimal build for Rehgar. I would have to imagine in pub stomps it might be. With having really strong ranged assassins as well, like Vala, I could see it being really strong. And being really strong at somebody like Illidan. Man, Rehgar Illidan seems like he would make a lot of sense to me because he has so much attack speed. That attack speed would be able to deal a lot of damage with the W Lightning Shield that Rehgar gives him. I'm taking a lot of poke, but I'm doing a pretty decent job keeping up with them. At this point, I'm going to have to go back and drink from the Well of Life. So I drink from that, and they start kind of going ham on my towers. This is the point where I just wasn't really able to keep up too well. Tribute's going to spawn, and there's just really nothing I can do about it. It's going to be kind of on my team to respond to that, and we had 3 people down bottom, including the Lost Vikings. So I try to go in here, and it's just not going to end well. I get converged on by 3 different people. Illidan comes in on me. I was hoping to make it, didn't quite make it. Even with all of that healing and all that tankiness, I wasn't able to. And you know what? I probably didn't do this. I probably could have been a little bit more positive and said, "Hey guys, come up top for the Raven tribute," and I didn't. So I'm gonna spawn back up, make my way back into lane here really quickly. Yeah, I don't know. I really felt like I should have been in a lane with somebody. I feel like maybe with Asmodon. I don't know, because see, you have Nova out there who really should be roaming, taking advantage of her stealth, and she wasn't really able to do that. You have Lily, who should probably be in the lane with somebody else as well. Lost Vikings, who I've seen them played a lot of different ways. So I don't know. At this point, I'm just trying to keep what is his name? Tyrael. I can't believe I didn't know that. I'm trying to keep Tyrael off of our buildings and not doing a very good job of it. Nova comes up. Actually, they start to collapse up top. And this is actually kind of a nice situation here. And this is where I feel Rehgar really begins to shine, because I'm able to lay down some big-time heals onto the Lost Vikings and onto everyone else. And we do a pretty good job of fighting them. Now, I end up playing incredibly stupid. I want to pause it really quick here. Incredibly stupid. There's no reason I should be in the middle of all these guys. I should have been somewhere off to the side here or somewhere off to the side here. Yeah, I shouldn't even have been over here. I should have been up here. Not up here. Up here or down here. I should have just stayed. And I get a little click happy. This game was like quintessential things you shouldn't do in MOBAs. And for me, I got really click happy. I don't know if you do that sometimes in MOBAs. You're just like spamming abilities, like nailing it. And that's what I was doing right there. And it was just kind of silly of me. You have to relax, take time, and think. think. And you're going to be all right. But anyway, so that was a really poor play on my part. Where my Lost Vikings guy dies. Yeah, Olaf ended up kicking the bucket. Asmodon's doing some pretty good damage onto Rehgar. But it ends up being kind of a poor team fight on our part. We're pretty close to them when it comes to EXP. Lily there telling Nova to go up top, which I think was a good idea. We had some of the Lost Vikings up here. I wonder if they were maybe a duo queued or something. But so we're going to go back into lane, and now we are down 2 tributes, as well as almost level. I end up getting ganked and end up dying. I think I ended up dying here. Yeah, I ended up dying here while also grabbing the well. And you really just, if you're going to die, don't grab the well, because it puts the cooldown on the well. It's just unnecessary. So anyways, I grabbed the well. They're really pushing hard in this top lane, really pressing their advantage. Again, if you think a lane isn't going to be a good lane, say something. Just seems to kind of make sense to me. Finally, they start to make their way up top. Some of my teammates, Lost Vikings, start to come up, and we're able to push them back pretty good. Lily ends up dying from Illidan. Kind of the same thing. And this is one of the dangers of playing quick match, and I would maybe encourage Blizzard to change the way they do quick match, is that you're not able to really pick team comps. I get that maybe you don't necessarily want to enforce a meta on anyone outside of ranked play. But man, after playing this for about a week now, I kind of got a hang of it. I've kind of got an idea of what I would like team comps to look like. Maybe I just need to play co-op or some other game mode. Maybe I'm missing out on a different kind of game mode that I need to play. But all right, so we're starting to make our way down. I think there's another tribute coming up here. Yeah, there's another tribute coming up here. Lily's down here. She's trying to out-heal all their damage. She ends up dying. I go in there really, again, what am I thinking? I should be back over here with the rest of my team and waiting, having patience, and instead I don't have patience. And I kind of leave my team to hang. Now, thankfully, their Rehgar ends up dying. Our Asmodon and Lost Vikings do a pretty good job, and we're actually able to pick up the tribute. I was pretty shocked here. I thought for sure that was going to be the tipping point of the game, and we were going to lose. Instead, we picked up some pretty big kills thanks to Asmodon and the Lost Vikings. And we're only down by about half a level now, as opposed to the full level we were down. Yeah, I wasn't paying any attention to pings. Again, quintessential, what are you doing? And in MOBAs, in games like this, you have to have a reason behind every single action you do. I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned while playing League of Legends. It's one of the biggest things that I was reminded of playing this game, because he pinged. I was all the way over here when he pinged for that mercenary camp, and instead I just kind of blindly ran to the lane because I was like, oh, hey, you know, maybe I can go ahead and push the lane or something. It was just kind of stupid. I wasn't playing with any really sort of intention. Anyways, getting back into this team fight. I am actually doing a pretty good job of staying back and healing this time. Probably moving in a little bit too close here. I probably should be positioned more over here. I'm way too close to Illidan at this point. Trying to keep Nova alive against Illidan, doing a pretty decent job. One of our Vikings is going to die. Olaf ends up dying. I'm putting down some pretty decent damage on Bow and Arrow Lady Trindale. Can't remember those names. We're doing a decent job. Illidan ends up dying. We're doing a pretty good job of laying down some damage. Tyrael ends up dying. He comes in and explodes, and I think at this point we pick up our second tribute, which ends up being pretty nice. Yeah, we pick up our second tribute, and now we're pretty much tied in EXP. That was a whole lot better. A lot of this, though, the Lost Vikings and Azmodan, man, carried me so hard this game. It carried me so hard. I made some really, really poor plays. So we're into pushing in here. I should never lay the lightning thing on myself if I have teammates nearby. Maybe not lay it on Nova because she doesn't have a ton of attack speed, but maybe Lily, maybe Azmodan, somebody who would benefit from it a little bit better. All right, so yeah, that was a fantastic rotation and in team fights. Really, the team fights are what ended up winning that for us. One thing I have to learn while playing Rehgar, and something to kind of take away from this as well, outside of positioning, is the importance of mounting quicker. Now, this was arguably a bad idea. We shouldn't have been kind of taking the bait of that other hero. Instead, we should have been up here getting ready for this tribute, because this is a really big moment in the game. If the other team gets the tribute, we're going to be cursed. We come in there. There is three of us, depending on what you count the Lost Vikings as, against their 4, and it just does not end up going well. I tried to mount up and reposition myself a little bit better to help out. I think I'm going to end up dying at the end of this one anyways. Yeah, I ended up dying to Rehgar. Killed myself on that one. It did not end up going well. I think we actually end up losing this tribute. Spoiler alert, even though Azmodan and the Lost Vikings are doing a really good job of trying to stop it. Do we? Man, this team fight is going forever. We're going to fast forward here. Okay, looks like Olaf dies. Nova dies. Yeah, and they're going to be able to pick up that tribute. I remember that because there's that impending doom feeling. No. That impending doom feeling is awful. So we're cursed. The cursed man is pretty brutal. Yeah, Azmodan is the one that was kind of like, oh no. At this point, really the best thing I think we can do is just focus, team up, and try to nail some of these camps out. Instead, I go on, again, really stupid of me. I ended up having to waste my heroic ability because I went in on an Illidan. Come on, dude. Rehgar's not going to take Illidan on one-on-one when they're equally leveled. I don't know. Just not going to happen. So, we should be teaming up. Finally, it looks like we do. Nova and Azmodan are mid lane. You know, we're defending from the push, which is a good idea. These camps should be what we're looking to go for as soon as the curse is done. I'm not sure if that's actually what we do or not. Let's see. So, just a whole lot of sieging. I think this is played pretty well. Sieging, healing. Sieging, healing, sieging, healing. They have a half a level up on us. And we're able to push them back. So, they did take our inside middle gates and towers, but it was not a bad defense on our part. We probably shouldn't be pushing like this, and I definitely shouldn't have been that close. That was just asking for trouble. What we should be doing here is taking these camps, and we don't do it quick enough. We just kind of sit here and just kind of play around with them. Azmodan ends up putting a ton of damage on Trindale. Nova does end up dying. But we're just kind of wasting time here, and I don't know why we're necessarily wasting time. Lost Vikings guy was smart and actually went and got camps, but we could have been doing the same. We could have applied pressure on them and then backed off and fought the camps. And instead we just kind of sat here playing games with them. It's like, hey man, let's play some marbles. Lost Vikings come in here. Man, this is like the most fun ultimate ever. Just sit back and listen to that song. So fun to listen to. Heroic. It's a heroic ability, not an ultimate. Still, look at this. This has been almost a full minute that these camps have been up, that we could have taken them, and we haven't. And that's a problem. Please go take those camps. Please. I don't even remember. I literally just played this game, and I don't remember if we actually go and take those camps or not. I hope we do. Yeah, it looks like we finally pinged them. That was almost a full minute and a half, though, that we could have taken those camps, and those camps could have been pushing. And the reason that's so important is that when the tribute spawns, it creates a risk-reward decision for the other team. Do you counteract the push, or are you going to go for the tribute? And they're going to have to do one or the other. And because we have 2 tribute, it's kind of a big deal. So tribute spawns, and we are nowhere near it. This time, though, we're actually really smart, and we don't get baited by the camp. Instead, we start to make our way down and collapse down onto the tribute. Super important tribute right here. We have 2. If we get a third one, we might finally even this game out a little bit and be able to push against them. So Illidan's going to go ahead and use his ultimate. I am once again in the middle of everything, stupidly, just textbook 101 what not to do. And I should be laying down heals. Doing a pretty good job of laying heals. I'm soaking up a decent amount of damage. So this wasn't necessarily an awful fight. I do die pretty quickly because I'm pretty squishy, but I felt good after this fight. I'm okay with dying as Rehgar, especially if we don't have a warrior on our team. If I soak up a ton of damage and we end up killing 4 of those guys and we pick up the tribute. So I felt pretty good about that fight. They're cursed now, and we're going to be able to push. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here. Wait till I pop back up. Really, at this point, this is a really good situation for us. I feel fantastic about this. We got a big team fight. We're going to get some big levels on top of them. I'm finally going to come back up. You know, I could have here suggested that we go after the camps. Instead, I really think we could probably just push, not necessarily worry about taking any of the camps. Okay. There goes down the pings. I'm going to mount up, go in and heal Lost Vikings. We've got 2 of them here, and this is actually a fight we could probably win. A lot of healing goes down. I really wish I could see the cooldown on his ultimate, see if he had his ultimate on cooldown or not. We end up taking out Tyrael, go back over. Do we take their camp? I hope we take their camp. No, they're going to go back. Well, they end up going back. I saw Illidan. I actually almost got the kill on Illidan, which would have been pretty sweet. Instead, I end up pinging out the camp over here. We're going to make our way over to it and take down that camp. I love it. 2 supports doing work. So we take that camp, and we take the camp up here. Really, at this point, what we should be aiming to do is just take the camps and push. We probably could have won right here. It's 0-0 on the tribute, so even if they pick up a tribute on us, if we push, if we push, and they decide to go and pick up tribute, then we push their core and win. If we push and they sit back, maybe we pick up some kills on them if they try to send 1 to tribute. Honestly, I just don't see a better option at this point in the game than pushing. It doesn't really make much more. That's probably the best play. Let's see what we do here. We pick up the boss camp. I think I remember saying something like that in game 2, that we should just pick up, or we should just push. We ping out that other camp. Take a look here. Illidan ends up dying. See, at this point, we're finally roaming as a team, which feels pretty good. I'm up top pushing with the Lost Vikings and our big boss. I can't remember. Are you able to, or I couldn't really tell. Are you actually able to lay your lightning on the boss? That seemed pretty strong to me. See, we shouldn't have pinged this out. I firmly believe and I will rest on this, that we should have just pushed right here instead of going and taking the tribute. It just doesn't make much sense to me. The game's going to be over before you can pick it up, but we pick it up, and I think we get it right away as well. I don't really think there's much they can do. Both of us are level 20. Going to fast forward it a little bit here. I'm up top. Going to go ahead and push with the team in the middle. Doing a good amount of damage. I don't know why Nova needed to go back. I wonder if it was a mana issue. You know, with the Rehgar and a Lily on your team, it kind of feels like you shouldn't have to go back. Maybe for mana, but you should probably figure out something to deal with your mana issues. All right, so we engage on a team fight here, and I really feel like if we had Lily here, not Lily, Nova, well, Nova and Lily, it looks like, to be a part of these fights, it would have been game. But instead it wasn't. They decided to go for the camps. Asmodon, not Lily. They decided to go for the camps up here, and we pay for it with the life of a couple of our people. Olaf ends up dying. I think Lily ends up dying here. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to when I'm back up, because the other team then, and this is what I'm talking about with the tribute. You know, they're going to pick it up, but okay, fantastic. 2 thumbs up for you. Great job. It doesn't matter. We're still pushing pretty hard on them. I'm still not up. Man, these respawn timers are pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. This replay is choppy as heck. All right, so Lost Vikings are picking up the camps down there. Tribute pops up. I think, did we go? Yeah, we did go for this one. Again, I don't know why. I know I'm going to harp on that. I know I'm saying that way too much, but I really feel like it. I really feel like there just wasn't much of a reason for us to grab those tributes. But we pick it up. And I think at this point is where we team up and we push it to win. Pick up the boss tower here. Boss tower. Boss mercenary. But, you know, the reason I really wanted to watch this replay again is because I felt pretty discouraged after. Not discouraged, but I didn't feel good after this game. This was one of those games where I really felt carried. I felt like I played pretty poorly, but thankfully Lost Vikings and Asmodon had a good game, and we were able to win because of it. And really, that's the only reason I felt like we were able to win. You know, we're playing really smart here. Team fighting, collapsing on Tyrael. He just isn't able to do anything. Has to go back. Illidan comes in. But really, at this point, we're just like, why are we not pushing the core? So we pick up Illidan. We're doing a lot of damage. The Lost Vikings, that ultimate, man, later in the game, does some ridiculous damage. And the amount of damage we're doing to their core is just off the chart with the mercenaries. Are able to pick up the game. But anyways, I wanted to say, the reason I wanted to watch this one again is I really did feel like I played very poorly with Rehgar. I feel like he's a really, really strong champion, and I felt like I played him pretty poorly. Part of that I can kind of contribute to poor lanes and a bad team comp. Part of that was also my fault. I just did not position well and didn't put myself in places where it would be advantageous for me to live. And so I ended up dying a lot. Now, arguably, I tanked up a lot of damage, and we still ended up winning, but I don't know if I feel fantastic about that. I feel like I could have done that a little bit better. But it was a game. I'm not going to say it was a good game. It was a game. We ended up winning thanks to the Asmodon and the Lost Vikings. And yeah, so anyways, my name's Regards. Thank you again for watching another replay commentary here on YouTube. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe or check me out on Twitter at Regards_gaming. And we'll talk to you next time.